There is a vehicle parked at a campsite in rural China right now that has two floors, a working elevator, OLED glass walls that turn into a television, and a walkout balcony overlooking whatever landscape it happens to be parked beside. It costs less than half of what a Ferrari costs. And it is not even the most extreme vehicle on this list. Today, we are counting down 9 motorhomes that each answer the same question in a completely different way. The question is simple. How far can you push what a vehicle is allowed to be? The answers range from a New Zealand design that took 11 years to build and is meant to be passed down through generations, to a vehicle that drives off the road and directly into a lake without stopping, to a Hollywood mansion on 22 wheels with a pop-up cinema on the second floor, to a German motorhome that carries a Bugatti inside a hydraulic garage in its sidewall. 9 vehicles, 9 different visions of what luxury, freedom, and engineering ambition look like when nobody tells you to be reasonable. Before we get into it, hit the like button right now. These videos take a serious amount of research and production to put together properly, and every like directly helps this channel reach more people who would love this content. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what we cover next. Some of these vehicles are going to make you question your entire understanding of what a motorhome is supposed to be. Let us count down. At number 9, we have something that most people have never heard of and almost nobody outside of the motorhome industry saw coming. DTLRV is a company from Sichuan province in China. In August 2023, a group of their engineers loaded up 3 motorhomes and drove them 13,200 kilometers to Dusseldorf, Germany. Not shipped them, drove them across Central Asia through multiple border crossings, covering a distance most people would take a flight for, arriving in the vehicles they were about to present, because pulling up in what you built makes a statement that no booth decoration ever could. They were heading to the Caravan Salon, the most important motorhome trade show in the world. The event where European manufacturers who had defined this industry for decades gathered to show what they had been working on. And into that room walked a team from Sichuan province with motorhomes they had designed and built themselves. A year later, they came back with the Carbonic Liner 78, and this time the entire room paid attention. The body of the Carbonic Liner 78 is made from carbon fiber. Not panels with carbon fiber trim, not a carbon fiber accent on the front fascia. The entire body structure. The material used in Formula One, cars, and military aircraft built into a production motorhome priced above $150,000. At that price point, no other manufacturer on Earth offers a carbon fiber body. It is lighter than conventional construction materials, stronger under stress, and significantly more resistant to the kind of long-term road damage that accumulates over years of serious travel. The vehicle is 7.84 meters long. It has 2 lateral slide-out extensions that expand the living space when parked, automatic hydraulic stabilizers that level the vehicle on uneven terrain without any manual adjustment, and a 1,000-watt solar system feeding power to everything inside, heated flooring throughout, a rain shower, a self-managing ceramic toilet system. The story of driving 13,200 kilometers just to stand in a room full of European manufacturers and say, "We are here to compete," is the kind of move that shifts an entire industry's perception. It worked. The Carbonic Liner got attention not just for what it was, but for the confidence behind it. That confidence is exactly what this list is built on. Let us keep going. Number 8 is where the list takes its first genuinely jaw-dropping turn. John Gilliland never went to college. He never studied engineering in a classroom. He grew up in South Carolina, learning how to fix tractors. And then, quietly, without fanfare, without investors, without a team of aerospace engineers behind him, he built the only motorhome in the world that is also a fully functioning boat. The Terrawind is 13 meters long and weighs 16 tons. Hidden underneath its luxury exterior is a military-grade aluminum hull built directly into the base of the vehicle. When you reach the edge of a lake or a river, the driver does not stop and park and unload a boat from a trailer. The driver engages a marine transmission that redirects the power of a 330 horsepower Caterpillar engine to 2 bronze propellers at the rear. And then it moves through the water at 7 knots. While it floats, the inside feels like a yacht that never needed water to get there. Marble floors, teak cabinets, an 8-jet jacuzzi positioned so you can watch the open water while soaking. The kind of interior you would expect on a vessel that spent its entire life on the sea, not one that drove to the shore on its own wheels an hour earlier. The price sits between $850,000 and $1.2 million for a single vehicle. That completely eliminates the question of whether to take a road trip or a boat trip. You do not have to choose. You just drive until the road ends and keep going. From a vehicle that drives into water, we move to one that reaches toward the sky. Number 7 spent 11 years being designed. 11 years. Most car manufacturers refresh their entire model lineup in that time. The team behind the Romato T8 spent that same period working on a single vehicle because they were not trying to build something comfortable. They were trying to build something that deserved to exist in the landscapes of New Zealand. New Zealand is one of those places that looks like someone turned the graphic settings all the way up. Mountains that appear painted, fjords that stretch on forever, coastlines that feel completely untouched. When an architecture firm from New Zealand decided to build a motorhome, the starting point was not the vehicle. The starting point was the question of whether a vehicle could ever be worthy of that environment. When the Romato T8 is moving down the highway, it does not look like a motorhome. It looks like a smooth, sealed, aerodynamic pod being towed. Clean, compact, almost mysterious. Nothing on the outside tells you what is about to happen. Then it stops, and in under a minute, the entire inner cabin rotates 90 degrees outward. Not a panel, not a window. The whole living space physically turns. What was a closed pod is now an L-shaped home with a covered outdoor terrace, a folding table, synthetic wood flooring, and side panels that block wind from every direction. The windows curve 270 degrees around the interior. Wherever you sit, the landscape wraps around you like you are inside the scenery rather than parked beside it. The co-founder describes it as a vehicle built to last over 50 years and be handed down through generations. At a starting price of $268,500, it is not really a purchase. It is an heirloom that also happens to drive. Number 6 has a helipad on its roof. A real one. Certified. Functional. Capable of holding an actual helicopter. In 2004, 3 engineers who had spent their careers building mega yachts sat down and asked what a motorhome would look like if it was designed with the same ambition as a 100-foot yacht. They started Furion. 13 years later, in 2017, they revealed the Elysium. It is 45 feet long, metallic gray, and on the roof sits a working landing pad designed to carry a Robinson R-22 helicopter. You can fly to your motorhome. That sentence should take a moment to process. Not drive to it, not be dropped off at it, fly to it, land on the roof, take the stairs down into the interior. The roof does more than hold a helicopter. It is split into 3 zones. A lounge area where you can sit outside as the sun sets, a 2-person hot tub, and the retractable helipad which folds away neatly when not in use so the rest of the rooftop stays comfortable. Inside, the yacht mentality continues without apology. 3 75-inch 4K televisions, a fireplace, a wine cellar, a steam shower, the kind of interior that makes a 5-star hotel suite feel like it is not trying hard enough. Furion never put the Elysium on official sale. Estimates place its value between $2.5 and $3.5 million. It exists not as a product you can order, but as proof of what becomes possible when engineers stop asking whether something is reasonable and start asking whether it is possible. The answer, it turns out, is almost always yes. Number 5 is where we hit Hollywood. And when Hollywood does something, it does not do it quietly. Sylvester Stallone was the one who made the call. He had seen what Anderson Mobile Estates could build. When Will Smith needed a home base for the filming of Men in Black 3, Stallone pointed him in one direction. Will Smith listened, and he spent $2.5 million on something called the Heat. The Heat runs on 22 wheels. From the outside, moving down a highway, it looks like a large premium trailer. Impressive, but not shocking. The kind of thing you might glance at and move on from. Then it parks, and 8 hydraulic pistons begin to rise. The entire roof of the vehicle lifts. A full second floor unfolds from above. What was a trailer is now a 2-story structure. And that second floor is a private cinema, 30 seats, full screening capability, the kind of room you would find in a boutique film club in the middle of a city, now sitting on top of a vehicle parked in whatever lot the film crew called home that week. Inside the ground floor, $300,000 worth of custom leather covers every surface. The bathroom alone costs $25,000 and features a glass door that turns completely opaque at the push of a single button. Not frosted, not tinted, fully opaque, on demand, in under a second. Will Smith lived in the Heat on location for both Men in Black 3 and The Pursuit of Happiness. Today, if you want to experience it for a night, the Heat is available for rent in Elgin, Texas for $9,000 per night. If you are finding this list as extraordinary as it sounds, hit the like button right now, because the next four vehicles are where things get genuinely hard to believe. Number four is the vehicle that Ferrari's designer built. And when Ferrari's designer builds something, the entire industry stops and pays attention. Pininfarina designed the Ferrari 458 Italia. They shaped the Maserati Gran Turismo. When Pininfarina signs their name to a project, it does not just look beautiful. It changes how people think about what is possible. In 2024, they revealed the AS Future ET, a fully electric motorhome with no combustion engine, no exhaust, and no engine noise. When it is moving, the only sound is the hum of electric motors and the road beneath the tires. When it parks, the only sound is the slide-out walls extending and the world around you settling into silence. Those walls, when fully extended, open the interior to 37 square meters. That is the floor area of a small apartment in Paris or Milan. Not a tight space where you squeeze past the kitchen to reach the bed. A real apartment on wheels that drove itself to your campsite. The detail that genuinely reframes what off-grid travel means is the water system. The AS Future ET pulls humidity directly from the surrounding air and converts it into clean drinking water. Up to 50 liters every single day. Park this vehicle in the middle of a desert. Run the system overnight. Wake up with enough fresh water to cook, drink, and wash. No hookup, no supply line. No tank to refill. The air around you becomes the resource. The base stationary version starts at $98,000. The drivable version was set for production in 2025. A Ferrari designer building a zero-emission motorhome that generates its own water from the atmosphere would be the most forward-thinking vehicle on this list in any other year. But three more remain. Number three is the one that made the entire motorhome industry uncomfortable. Not because of one feature, because of the price attached to what it offers. The Marchi-Mobile Palazzo Superior costs $3 million. It takes between 8 and 10 months to complete for each individual buyer. There is no assembly line, no production run. Every single unit is built entirely by hand from scratch for one specific customer. When the Palazzo Superior is coming towards you on a highway, your brain takes a moment to process what it is looking at. The windshield is circular, pulled directly from helicopter cockpit design. The rim covers are 36 inches wide, borrowed from race car engineering. The entire silhouette looks like it was drawn by someone who had never seen a conventional motorhome and was given absolutely no restrictions. The Austrian firm Marchi-Mobile built this vehicle by pulling from three completely different worlds simultaneously: motorsport, aviation, luxury yachting. No single industry was sufficient on its own. The result took elements from all three and combined them into something that belongs to none of them. The feature that separates it from almost everything else on this list is the Sky Lounge. At the push of a button, a fully enclosed terrace rises from the roof. It comes up with its walls already in place, integrated furniture already positioned, and radiant heating already running in the floor beneath your feet. You push one button and a furnished room appears above you. Inside, the master bedroom is built around a king-size bed made by Hypnos. If that name means nothing to you, Hypnos is the official bed supplier to the British royal family. The same standard of bed found in Buckingham Palace is in this motorhome parked in a field somewhere in Austria. $3 million, 8 to 10 months, one at a time, built for one person. That is the Palazzo Superior. And it would be the most obsessive vehicle on this list if it were not for the one that follows it. Number two answers a problem that a very specific and very small number of people in the world genuinely face. You own a Bugatti Chiron, you want to take a long road trip, but you cannot exactly park a Bugatti at a roadside campsite and feel comfortable walking away from it. The car costs more than most houses. It attracts attention wherever it goes, and it was not designed to sit in a car park while you sleep in a tent nearby. Volkner from Germany answered that question, and the answer is exactly as extravagant as the problem deserves. The Performance S has a hydraulic garage built into the side of the vehicle. A platform slides out from the body of the motorhome. Sitting inside that platform is space for a full-size supercar. A Bugatti Chiron fits. A Porsche 911 fits. A Ferrari 458 fits. The car travels inside the motorhome, protected, climate-controlled, hidden from view until you arrive wherever you are going. When the car rolls out onto the platform, that platform immediately converts into an outdoor terrace. You sit on it, you have a drink. You look at the view. When you are done, the car goes back in. The platform retracts smoothly into the body of the vehicle and you drive to the next location. The interior of the motorhome itself features a Burmester audio system that costs $55,000 on its own. The furniture is built from macassar wood, the same material used in private jets and high-end yacht interiors. Nothing inside this vehicle was chosen because it was affordable. Everything was chosen because it was the best available option regardless of cost. The total package with the Bugatti included reaches approximately $7.7 million. The garage costs more than the living space. That sentence somehow makes complete and logical sense when you are talking about this vehicle. And then there is number one. SAIC is the largest automaker in China. When they decided to enter the luxury motorhome market, they did not sit down and study what the Europeans were doing so they could match it. They approached the entire problem from a different angle entirely. They asked what a motorhome would look like if it was designed with the logic of a building rather than the logic of a vehicle. The result is the Maxus Lifehome V90 Villa Edition, and it earns the number one spot on this list not because of one extraordinary feature, but because of what you get when you stack everything it does on top of each other and then realize all of it is sitting on four wheels. While it is moving, the V90 looks like a premium motorhome, sleek, well-proportioned. Nothing on the outside tells you what is coming. Then it parks, and it begins to transform. The hydraulic side extensions deploy first. The ground floor expands to 20 square meters. For a vehicle that just pulled into a campsite that is already a generous and comfortable living space. Heated floors throughout, smart climate control, premium finishes on every surface. Then the roof begins to rise. The entire upper structure lifts hydraulically to reveal a complete second floor. Not a raised ceiling, not a sleeping loft where you have to crawl in on your hands and knees. A full second story with tempered glass walls on all sides, giving you an unobstructed view in every direction from an elevated position above the surrounding landscape. There is a walkout balcony on the second floor. You can step outside, stand above the campsite, and look across whatever you have parked beside. A mountain range, a coastline, a forest canopy. You are standing on the balcony of your motorhome's second floor. The glass walls are built with transparent OLED technology. When the screen is off, they are completely clear glass, and you see straight through them to the outside world. When the screen is on the wall itself becomes a television. There is no screen mounted to a panel, no frame bolted to a surface. The architecture of the room is the entertainment system. The wall you look through to watch the sunrise in the morning is the same surface you watch a film on at night. And then there is the elevator. Not a folding staircase, not a ladder built into the wall, a fully working single-person elevator that connects the ground floor to the second floor of the motorhome. It moves quietly, it operates with a button, and it is the only feature of its kind in any production motorhome anywhere in the world. No European manufacturer built this. No American manufacturer built this. SAIC built it, and they priced the entire vehicle at approximately $413,000 in China. To put that number in context, the Marchi Mobile costs $3 million. The Volkner with the Bugatti costs $7.7 million. The V90 Villa Edition with its second floor, its OLED glass walls, its walkout balcony, and its working elevator costs $413,000. That is not just a features victory. That is a statement about where the center of gravity in this industry has moved. The vehicle that rewrites the rules of what a motorhome is allowed to be did not come from Austria or Germany or the United States. It came from China, and it costs less than a house in most major cities. The V90 is not just the best vehicle on this list. It is the one that changed the question every other manufacturer now has to answer. Before it existed, designers were asking how to make a single-story box feel more like a home. After the V90, the question became, how many floors can we add? What can the walls do? And where does the elevator go? That shift in thinking is what number one looks like. 9 motorhomes. A self-taught engineer from South Carolina who built a vehicle that drives into lakes. A New Zealand architecture firm that spent 11 years designing something worthy of the landscape it would sit in. A Hollywood mansion on 22 wheels with a cinema on the second floor. Chinese engineers who drove 13,200 kilometers just to show up and compete. A Ferrari designer who built a motorhome that makes its own water from the air. A German manufacturer who solved the problem of traveling with a Bugatti. And at the top, a 2-story rolling home with glass walls that become a television, a walkout balcony, and a working elevator. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button and subscribe so you are here for the next one. And now I want to hear from you. If you could drive away in any one of these 9 right now, which one are you taking and where are you going? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. See you in the next one.